Morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all. Myself, Vaibhav. I hope all of you are doing pretty well for yourself and for the business as well. Today, the market mover session is going to be devoted to the Nasdaq, which is trading in a choppy manner. I think we can exploit the ongoing consolidation phase for scalping opportunities till a sustained breakout happens on either side. In today's session, Nasdaq has found buying momentum closer to the support levels of 14,950 and risen back above 15,000 pretty sharply. However, looking at its price trajectory for last couple of trading sessions, I think this bounce might turn out temporary and Nasdaq might start to slide again as there is a strong resistance on the upper side closer to its recently established all-time highs near the levels of 15,200. On the data front, we had multiple economic releases for United Kingdom, followed by industrial production data for the whole of Europe area. If we take a look on the UK's data, we will see that economic recovery in the second quarter, that is the quarter ended June of this year, has been broad-based with economic growth well supported by the household consumption as well as the public spending in United Kingdom. However, investment is yet to pick up. The GDP growth for the quarter ended June has been recorded at 4.8% in terms of quarter on quarter and 22.2% in terms of year on year. Euro area industrial production saw a dip of 0.3% in terms of month on month for the month of June, while it is still up 9.7% in terms of year on year. Moving to the North American trading session, the US initial jobless claims ticked slightly lower to 375,000 for the week ended 7th of August, which is pretty close to the pandemic low reached a couple of weeks back. This shows the US labor market strength is holding well, and we can expect a new low to be reached in coming weeks. Now let's see what's happening on the charts. We will consider the technical outlook for the Nasdaq, and after that we will also see if there are any emerging trade opportunities in the USD JPY. Let's consider the Nasdaq's technical outlook. This is the daily time frame chart, and here, as you can observe, the Nasdaq has gone in a consolidation phase after reaching these highs above the 15,000. It's almost 2 weeks now in which we have seen the Nasdaq consolidate. And first, this correction was sharp and the range was a bit wider. But as the days have progressed, the range has narrowed and Nasdaq has not moved much. In today's session, it has found some buying momentum on the lower side and risen around 100 points, but in percentage terms, that is not much, around 0.66%. And I'm not really expecting any big sharp move on the higher side, but there are some key levels which we can keep in mind and try to exploit if we want to take the trading decisions in the Nasdaq. We have the price action happening in the bullish bracket, and that is because we have already seen sharp rise, and that has put it on the bullish trajectory. But looking at its price formation for the larger part of this week, it has been of lower highs and lower lows. If we consider it on the lower time frame formation, on the daily time frame, it is still higher highs and higher lows. But from short term perspective, the price action is showing the signs of a fatigue on the higher side, and we can indeed go for a short sell trade if we find it closer to the immediate swing high. And regression curve, it is still inclined on the higher side, but the thing to keep in mind is that now the price action has entered into a lower band, and here we will not be looking for big swing trades. Rather than that, the goal is to keep looking for sharp short sale and also buy trades, but for that we will have to rely on some of the key levels using these even lower formation of the 1 hour. We have this price trajectory shaping up quite well in a nice bearish channel. We can consider the price area of around 15,100 or little above that to be immediate resistance. And if we consider the price action so far in the session, we have indeed seen the Nasdaq stalling its move on the higher side closer to this convergence area. We have these three SMAs converging closer to 15,050, and this is where currently the Nasdaq is holding after this sharp move from the lower side. And on the higher side, we do have this resistance of the channel, and I think we can keep looking for the sale opportunities while keeping the stop loss little above this immediate high established around 15,130. So for a price of around 15,150, we can consider a stop loss, while the entry can be considered closer to 15,100. That means we don't have to keep stop loss much wide. 50 point stop loss should be good enough. And on the lower side, we are not really targeting a big move here. Also, the target area is going to be sharp, and I think even if we get the risk reward ratio of 1 is to 2, that's pretty good for scalping opportunities. Here the risk is quite limited, and if we are fortunate enough to get 100 or maybe at the max 150 points move on the lower side, we can take advantage of that. So this is the opportunity which is emerging in today's session. And on the lower side, if you want to go for the buy trade, you will have to wait for again the dip closer to this prior swing low, the day's low, and after that we will indeed need do consolidation before we can think about going in for a long trade. But on the higher side, we do have the resistance in place, so we can take our chances closer to the 15,100 level. Now let's see what's happening in the currency space. The instrument of choice is USD JPY. We had also considered the USD JPY in the prior session, and not much has changed. The USD JPY's price move has been as per our anticipation, and in today's session, it is showing some signs of bearish momentum creeping in, and it is trading with negative bias, but the moves are not much. These moves are pretty shallow, of around 20-25 pips, no big momentum in the USD JPY. We have the USD JPY trading closer to this resistance area, and I think this might be one of the reasons why we are seeing the USD JPY stalling after this sharp recovery, starting below 109 and extending all the way just little below 111. So that was almost a 200 pips move, and some sort of correction can't be ruled out. We can still keep our positioning for the long trade, but we will need the USD JPY to correct at least towards 110. And if in near term you want to go for the sell trade, you can even take that position. But do remember that the underlying momentum is bullish, but in near term, in short term, we can expect this deep to extend towards the near term support. If we consider the pivot point formation, we have this central pivot point just little above 110. The regression curve is also pointing northward, and both these factors are pointing to the continuation of the bullish trajectory from medium term perspective. But as I said, we can expect this correction to deepen, and we do have the possibility of USD JPY extending its current slide towards 110, and only after that we will be in position to go for a new long trade if the USD JPY holds closer to the support, and first it should consolidate. And I think for that we will have to wait till tomorrow's session, or only when we come back for trading next week on Monday, we will have a more clarity, uh, better picture of what is likely to happen in USD JPY. If we consider the price formation so far, it has struggled to cross and hold above 50 SMA, which can be considered as a requirement if it has to pick up the momentum. and that means the bullish tendency is still not quite evident, and it will be better for us to keep the trades for long in we will have to wait, and only when we have these support area nearby, and after due consolidation we can think about going in for a new trade while keeping the stop loss little below 200 SMA. Given this sharp move, the 200 pips SM, 200 SMA is kind of far away from the current levels. It is almost 40 to 50 pips away, and if we see the USD JPY extending its consolidation phase, that will give time the 200 SMA to catch up. Or in another scenario, if we see this deep extending on the lower side, even in that scenario we will have the convergence of the price action and the 200 SMA happening. But for any long trade, I think it will be better if the USD JPY doesn't slide much and holds closer to this immediate swing low. That way, we will have fair amount of confidence in the continuation, or you can say continuity of the bullish momentum of the USD JPY. And if you indeed want to go for any sell trade, that should be taken closer to these immediate swing low, swing high. The day's high established a little above 110.5, and that should be done strictly from intraday perspective, and we can expect this dip to go on at least towards 110.2 on the lower side. So that's my take looking at the current price formation of the USD JPY. If any of you have query or idea to share, you can write to me in the feedback section, and I would be more than happy to take the discussion forward. Before I sign off, I would also like to remind of the risk associated with trading in the financial instrument, and one should be careful while using the information provided. You can also check out the Endoscopy Analytics page for further coverage of the market developments. Whenever you want to start trading, the JForex platform is available, and its interface is quite good and pretty simple to understand. And if any kind of assistance is required, you can write to me in the feedback section. We are also available on the Facebook. You can follow the Facebook page of the Endoscopy and interact with the community there. Thank you all for joining in. Have a fabulous day ahead. See you next time. Till then, goodbye.